Ladies and gents, welcome to a best of 5 in the Warlords 3 qualifier. Every map in Warlords is a 9-villager start, so things are going to be a little bit faster here. And we've got El Matador, player who's around 2K4, 2K5, really speedy, talented player from Germany, and a teammate of mine. He's a good guy, playing as the Persians here. And then we have Capoch, the more experienced player, the veteran here. And he is also playing as the Persians. I would say Capoch is the favorite in this series, but El Matador has the skill to beat someone like Capoch. And if Matador wants to take it to that next level, this would be a big opportunity for him here today. Both of these players did not make it to the main event of Warlords with the first qualifier. This is qualifier number 2. And I think this is the second round of there's 4 rounds in total. So there also is some prize pool associated with the qualifier, which can be important. Now, the way that the draft works for this tourney is you can have mirror matchups, because basically I think the first 2 picks are free picks but hidden, which means you pick 2 civs of what's available. Your opponent does the same, and then once you've both selected it, it reveals what the opponent had picked. Both players clearly felt like Persians are very strong, and Persians are actually perfect for this map, in my opinion, because you start with the... Well, first off, you start with 9 vills, which, I mean, everyone does, except for, I guess, Mayans and Chinese, but 9 villager start is just like... As much as people like to say it is basically the same, I would disagree. I think it allows you to do a little bit, some different things. It is certainly easier and more smooth. And you combine that with the plus 50 wood, plus 50 food that the Persians have, and the work rate on the docks, and also the TCs. And yeah, it's like Persians are going to be pretty insane here. Now, it is expected that both players would dock. Capoch dock to the right side, and then we had El Matador dock the left. And you could tell now Capoch looking to scout and confirm if his opponent's over there. Matador seemingly doing the same right here. All right. So this is going to be a reoccurring thing anytime we cast Matador. Some of you guys might already know. But it is time for the APM check, because he is actually the fastest player in the world, according to APM data. APM equals actions per minute, and Matador clicks a lot. So, any guesses on the peak APM? This is actions per minute for Matador thus far. Before we show it, I'm going to show it, and then it's going to be insane. Keep in mind, we're in Dark Age. Obviously, there's been some aspects going on, but there's no, like... It's most likely going to be a crazy military APM, and the only military is the scout. Wow, we've got people guessing in the 200s right now. I think he's getting a little slow, right? I think Matador actually isn't that fast these days. I'm going to go with 179. You ready? Okay, I was wrong. 100. Wait, no, the peak was 147. Okay, 147 peak against 45 peak from Capoch. It makes me laugh how fast he is at 55 seconds into the game. I just don't really know exactly how he does it. The answer is he just clicks a lot. And of course, past the point where it's really helpful, but still, he's going to have that speed to work with. So Matador came over here and he sees that Capoch has a dock here. Now, when I would describe a player like Capoch, he loves these maps and he loves to contest the pawns. Second dock for Matador in the same pond is an interesting choice. Now, Capoch, I think he's going to see this gold, and he's going to immediately think that Matador might be trying to spend that gold with fire ships on his pond. At least I think that should be the logical conclusion. And we have a vill here from Capoch, so he wants to sneak a dock. And here's the vill from Matador. Honestly, both players taking some risks, because there are scouts out. We do already have a fire galley on the way from Matador. I think he's just straight up expecting that Capoch will do this, because it's a very Capoch thing to do. And Capoch also adding a fire. So both players doing that. Capoch, stealing some water buffaloes here. Loses some scout HP, but that's a big deal, because now there's not as much food underneath Matador's TC. And there's a lot to scout here, guys, which is why I like the map. Matador didn't scout any of Capoch's base. So he doesn't have an idea. But Capoch is going to have to decide between making offensive fires and defensive fires. And lots of reason to do both. Right now, Villager not getting hit. There's an opportunity for Matador. He may notice this in a moment. The water buffalo is going to the north. Someone says, are Portuguese a viable choice with all those berries? Portuguese are solid here for reasons other than the berries. Portuguese are solid as well because you have your initial berry area, which we call a barrier. The barrier is already strong. But then you have extra HP on your ships, which is, of course, huge here. And then also, oh, wow, Matador found the buffalo. What in the world? But not only that, but you get all your gold units are discounted. So the Portuguese are just really solid overall. And then, of course, having the berries in the middle could be good, too. So far, it's been a very active game. I think Matador's position is the better of the two when it comes to the water aspect. We do have a lot of production from Matador to protect his fish. Capoch lost the Ville here, which is the only death so far in the game. But 2 docks here obviously could give opportunities for Matador. That villager's nice and snug in there. Persian docks have crazy HP, so those docks are going to be up for a long time, and it allows possibilities to do something like this. Now, as the scout goes down for Capoch, I need to know, does Matador know about the archers? See, he's been being so busy chasing down the buffalo, not scouting his opponent. He doesn't know his opponent's going to have archers here. You're going to see a lot of this, by the way. You're going to see a lot of heavy on wood, heavy on gold, producing on water, and then making archers, because it is wood and gold for both those things. Matador just attacking the house. But if he gets the walls down, if he goes for the full wall approach, the archers shouldn't accomplish that much, and so far it seems like he's getting the job done there. And he might end up taking out this dock. And once he has the freedom, and he knows that this isn't going to be a problem, he can add fishing ships there. And Matador is still trying to contest and kill Capoch on this side. He actually isn't producing out both docks, but a demo! Oh, that's an amazing demo for Matador. That is incredible, and that's the risk, right? It's like such close quarters. You look away for a second to do anything else, you're going to get rocked with a demo. Really good start for Matador there. Capoch still has so many buffaloes. And he's looking to get those full walls down. Yeah, it's just like things like this. Like, you absolutely have to know your opponent's going archers, I would say. That's something that Capoch... that Matador is going to want to confirm. Just passing here. Matador will be in his opponent's walls. He could have killed that Ville and still been through here. But he lands another demo here. He's looking to surpass Capoch's fishing ship count and take control here. And Capoch still done a decent job to fall back and get repairs. And El Matador is being pretty patient. This is where El Matador should be spending all that wood on fishing ships in this area. Oh, scout underneath the TC. He saw the archery range. Okay. Oh, man, there was a hole here. And Matador started to build a market. I wonder if he's going to be tempted to delete this and build something else in that spot. Wow, that could have been devastating. Like, that could have been game-ending if those archers got through. Resources still looking decent enough for Matador to go Castle Age. This isn't the biggest ball of archers, but he did sell his stone to get the resources to click up, which means he can't tower right now. Are war elephants in a 1v1 a thing nowadays? I don't think they were ever a thing. Except for, you know, maybe beginning players. They're too expensive. And I'm starting to see Matador fall apart a little bit. Producing the fishing ship here. He realizes he screwed it up. Now a transport ship. That's a misclick. Oh, man, he's falling apart. You could tell he probably wanted to go to these docks to produce the fishing ships and just screwed it up slightly. Capoch on the way to Castle Age. Same with El Matador. Resources collected higher for Capoch. And Capoch still has plenty of water buffalo to work with and can transition into farms. Building the stable now. Will still has the archers. Feels like this is probably just going to be knights from both players. But, like, Matador has to deal with this. This could be a real problem. And Capoch, yeah, he's paying attention. And he knows this is going to happen eventually. So he looks back over here. Good work from Matador to pull the Villes away. And this might be enough just to hold for the time being. Doesn't lose the villager there. And there's a stable. Wow, a whole bunch of subs coming in. What's up, guys? Urifal, thanks for the 27. That white guy, thanks for the 25. Tarzes, thank you for the 57. Mikiki Kiki and Mafia Boy, thank you guys for the primes. Gonna be, like I said, like a 7-hour session of casting today. So, for those that made it here already, welcome. Hope it's a good day. Capoch walking to the middle. You can tell he wants a TC here. Just a really nice area to control. It's very easy on you to just send all your new villagers to berries. But also, having this hill, since it's right smack dab in the middle of both players, can be so valuable long term. And if you think about it, the archers actually gave... The archers opened up this opportunity, didn't they? Capoch isn't messing around. He goes TC and Monastery. Of course, the relic's right there to snag. And Matador, one stable Knights. It does feel like Capoch is just slightly ahead, though, right? And that's what it comes down to at this level, is taking slight advantages over time. You're going to... Like, the only time you're going to see someone just completely smash the opponent is if there's a big strategy difference or a big level difference. I'd say the key thing for Matador, like the thing I keep coming back to, is he had 2 docks up over here really early. I think he invested to defend himself, which of course makes sense, and that's why he didn't end up getting the investment and he wanted on the front. But this is a lot of pressure and a lot of damage. He needs a house here or something to stop these knights from breaking in. Matador will not have town centers to add eco. He's just going to make knights and a monk, and if he can get a conversion and have these knights prepared, especially if Capoch dives, it could send Capoch running back. And knights chasing. Obviously, there's a camel. There's a scout. There's some archers. Capoch just has a little bit more. And Capoch, TC2, TC3. I mean, this is just so clean from Capoch. I have to look at the bracket, but I think Capoch is definitely one of the favorites to qualify. I don't know who he could potentially run into. Just playing so solid with transitions here. And, like, really smart as well. I think a lot of players might, like, look at him, get the scouting intel, looking around, being annoying as well. Gonna actually run over here, try and snag a relic. It's interesting how many random houses Matador has there. But he knows all the army needs to come here. He knows he's not going to be in trouble for now. Loses the scout. Knows his opponent is making knights. And probably feels pretty comfortable here. Obviously goes to push in. The monks go for conversions. Capoch pulls away. Nice shot. Tried his best to then use the archers against the monks, but Matador recovered there. And there's town center number 2 for Matador. In a good position, but of course he is just behind in numbers right now. And that TC is so tricky to deal with. Heard a conversion somewhere. Did you guys catch where that conversion was? I don't know what the conversion was. I missed it. Maybe it was on screen. This is worth it for Capoch. Even if you lose the units, knowing you're going to kill 2 monks is really nice. Because, like, here, he can get a conversion and keep his monk alive to get further value. Capoch is in the same bracket as Veleza and Mihai. Wow, so competitive. That's crazy competitive. I would say I would put Capoch's chances below Veleza. Not, like, a ton below, but I'd say slightly below. And then... Uh-oh. Is there going to be a gap here? There's no gap. Mihai and Capoch might be fairly similar, but I think Mihai is pretty crazy level these days. I think Mihai should be maybe the favorite against Capoch as well. But definitely winnable. I think those 3 are the big favorites. Obviously, we'll see what happens here with Matador, though. But right now, Matador is just getting completely outplayed. And he's just struggled to keep up with Capoch. With the transitions in late feudal into Castle Age, I would say. It's just, like, so smooth. Like, pretty much everything is perfect for Capoch. It really is. Like, the timing on the economic upgrades, the military, as well as, like, going to stone now is such a big deal to eventually plan for a castle. Some people wait too long for that. Really like how he's played. He's played like the favorite. And Matador, he's looking like a talented player who's the underdog, which is exactly what I felt was the case here. So, and actually, oh, Matador doesn't have husbandry. That's going to be brutal. Here, I think some archers went down. The monks are there to protect underneath the TC. This is brutal because the camels now outrun the knights, and these knights are a long way from home. Weird regroup there for Capoch, which helps Matador. Am I wrong? I think the issue is the camels and the knights are running into each other. If he was chasing with like 4 camels, it'd be better. Look at the bumpage. Look, there's so much bumpage. Gotta love that. Capoch, a cool 1,500 resources ahead with res collected. And he's got 3 relics. He's got all this stuff in the middle to work with. El Matador able to make it home. Having monks around should be enough to scare Capoch off, but he didn't want to open up his base to run inside. Too risky. Is this winnable for Matador? It's not looking like Capoch is going to make many mistakes. I think your win condition, like your best way back into the game right now if you're Matador, is a counterattack working, which he's trying, but then also pike switch. But you have to get like the pikes in the mix before there's a castle up on your face, because then the castle will neutralize the pikes. He is adding, he just got the pikeman upgrade. He's making spears. And again, he tried the counterattack. Feels like Capoch, though, just bringing you back to the stone timing. The fact that he's been on stone kind of preps himself for that next level. Bit of an attack here. Capoch going to secure more of a gold. Capoch with 56 on food. Like, half of that is berries, but still plenty of berries out there. The map name is Kawasan. The map name is always next to the minimap for future reference. Yes, the map name is Kawasan. Capoch is just like, okay, I'm going to wait here with my monks. I know you're going to come in with something like... Capoch will feel like he cannot lose this game if he holds this hill. So while he's dealt with some of the like side pressures, he's not over-investing into that, and he clicks up to Imp. I mean, Capoch has just played an amazing game so far. Holy crap. Just crazy. They're playing with the same options too, right? It's not like one player's out-civving the other. It's a pure skill matchup, basically. And I will say that is... The fact that there can be mirror matchups is always good for the favorite. Because it is kind of less strategic in a sense. It's less matchup-oriented. And Capoch kills a couple knights there. Now he drops a castle here. And yeah, Matador might try and fight. Because when you see this, you know you're doomed. So sometimes you try and force an engagement somewhere. If Matador takes a bad engagement over the next minute and a half, it's pretty much solely because he knows he needs a fight before this gets worse. But usually, you feel like, there's a window of opportunity for the player who's still in castle to get something done, because the player going in normally doesn't have as much army. But Capoch has plenty of army. I like it for Matador. You can't go for the middle now. And if he sees this TC, he might just try and drop a castle here. But I don't think this goes up, guys. The pikes are behind. Oh, no. He's like waiting. The villagers just want to build. That's a lot of pikes for Matador. Capoch. Soon going to be in the Imperial Age. And Matador doesn't know there's a TC here. If he knew there was a TC... he would just drop a castle. Capoch is going to drop a castle. The villagers won't move. So it's a castle war. And a big engagement. I actually think both castles end up going up here. But Capoch is going to win the fight. Capoch will be able to make trebs. And then, of course, the castle for Matador will probably go down. Matador might choose to just tap out here. Again, was the engagement good? No. Why wasn't it good? Because he had to force something. And he gave it his best shot here. And GG's called. Capoch takes game number 1. Really smooth play from him. But I know it doesn't seem that promising because Capoch was slightly ahead the whole game, but I really do feel like, with some of these maps, Matador's skill, having different Civ matchups, I do think that Capoch could struggle today in some games against Matador, but big confidence boost for Capoch. And sometimes, especially for some of the older players, which Capoch is, you don't know what level you're going to see from a particular individual. It's hard to show the same level every single day. And so if you're a Capoch fan out there, you're going to be screaming Vamos because that's just so smooth from game one, right? He needed no time to warm up. It really was like his best gameplay right at the start of the series. So GG. Here's resources collected. Well, no, sorry, there's the KD. Capoch was ahead in everything except wood collected there. I think Matador struggled to transition into the farms this game, but that struggle could have been because there was so much pressure coming in all the time from Capoch, so kind of makes sense there. And there's the APM. Matador peaked in APM at the very end before he died. That's how he wants to be remembered. And we'll see if he can use that speed to get more results in the rest of the games. Here we are, game number 2. So, this map here will get you right into the action. This map is called Alpine. And on Alpine, there are 8 boars. I think it's 8. I'm going to trust my memory, but yeah, okay. 8 boars on the outer ring, or I guess like middle ring, that surrounds the 2 individuals. Players are right next to each other. And then they work from the middle and they move to the outside, right? So the better wood lines, gold stones, hunt, everything is going to be further away from the player bases. Now, players can access every boar. So what Capoch is doing here is really smart. It's a little bit risky as well, but he's going to make a move and run over here and snag this boar, leaving this boar available and this boar available as well. So, in theory, if you're aggressive enough, you could end up getting 5 boars. Capoch house trick? No, not hopping inside the house with Khmer. Saving the villager, good job. Things could get a little dicey here. Kills that boar. Weakens this boar. Kills that boar. That was really well played from him. Now, in 3 villager starts, players can be really lamey because, you want to take the boars as quickly as possible, but you only have 3 vills, so it's really complicated early on. Look at Matador quick wall here. We haven't seen either player use their horse to try and block boars yet. They just haven't seen it at the right times. So I don't have a way to put a boar counter up on screen, but I believe it ends up being 4-4. Or maybe 5-3, actually. No, it's definitely 5 to... No, it's 4-4, right? Because there was this one which just decayed, there's these 2, and now this one. I think it's 4-4. Capoch took the one that was far away here. Matador took the one that was far away here. All right. Now, Magyar is fantastic with the scouts, so that's to be expected. Khmer are as well. And I do think this is a situation where the Khmer player should make a barracks. Now, every time that I have covered a game with Khmer with Dave over the last couple years, he gets really bent out of shape about this particular topic. I like that, though, because he's got heart about this particular topic, right? And he always talks about how you should make a barracks with Khmer because too often because you don't need the barracks before the stable. Players with Khmer are dying because they need spearmen, right? And it's a very valid point. I do not think that you should add the barracks on the way to the next age, though, because then you are working your way... You're working against a bonus. You don't need to have spearmen until a few scouts come out from the opponent. So what I do and what I would suggest... And not saying Dave necessarily disagrees with this, by the way, but it's something that I think is important to clarify, is you make the stable first so you can make it faster than your opponent. And then after a minute or so in feudal, then you make your barracks. Or you could just wall up everything and keep everything else close to the TC. It actually looks like it's going to be an archer range for Capoch because he's gone to gold. Matador also lumber camping out here. And Capoch did see that with that horse. Matador did not find his opponent's lumber camp. So again, a slight difference with the scouting, I would say. Soul Scour, thanks for the 49 months. Says, T90 new, quite the upsets with Nikov and Sebastian beating Leary and ACCM in Qualifier 1. Yeah, and I think they beat them pretty convincingly as well, right? Nikov beating Leary 4-1. Wait, I think you got it wrong. Oh, well, it was just the way you worded it. Yeah, Nikov beating Leary 4-1 was an amazing result for Nikov. And then Sebastian beating ACCM wasn't as big a surprise to me because I think Sebastian's level has been ridiculous. And he also is very close to beating ACCM in like NAC qualifiers, for example. But still an upset, I agree, and I think it's good for the game. Certainly means both of those players are going to be in this qualifier, and it's their last chance, right? If they don't make the top 16, ACCM and Leary, people are going to be losing their minds. So Stable's going to be on the way here from Matador. Again, let's look at his scouting here. He knows about the woodline. He knows about the golds. And now he knows about the archery range. So he'll be aware that this is going to be an archer opening. It's an interesting one right now if you're Matador because you're Magyars and you have cheap scouts. So you want to keep doing that. Your opponent hasn't shown a barracks. So you could, in theory, just go scouts against the archers. But you're always like, man, then I can't kill anything. Like, everything is protected with walls. And so in situations where there's walls, it would make more sense to maybe add that archer range and go for skirms. I love this. I love this tower. This tower gets me real excited. No one else seems to be as excited about this tower. Come on, people. Show some hype for the preemptive tower. Let's go. It's all right. YouTube, I promise. People on live streams are usually a lot more excited, okay? It's really fun if you show up. So that's good. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Capoch knows about that. Scout's going to come in here from Matador and chooses not to lose the scout HP, but he's definitely reminding Capoch he could commit to kill the villager there if he wants to. Now, Matador, again, I love this. He's using that speed and really being annoying. Okay, next time Capoch won't garrison. Guarantee it. Watch. He's like not going to fall for it anymore. Notice how he's not garrisoning anymore? He's like, nope, not doing it. Not doing it. Now he's doing it. Oh, let's go. But yeah, I think if there was a barracks instead of a stable, then it would have made sense for El Matador to go for skirms. But skirms would be vulnerable against scouts, which is why Capoch is adding them. But I think maybe, like, we might need to see a situation for Matador where he drops a blacksmith to get armor, walks out to this gold, gets a little bit more gold so we can get bloodlines. Like, if it's scouts and archers against just his scouts need to be stronger or in a high enough number. Over here, the horse is just peering over the trees, watching the villagers work, wondering if anyone will feed him as he hasn't eaten in a while. Villagers are not interested. And Capoch must really have a headache right now because of the activity from Matador. And finally, the archers appear. See, that's a lot of archers. That would scare me. But there's not a lot of scouts. Fletching's now in for the archers, though. So this is where you need to have armor on your scouts or bloodlines or both. Finally, a villager goes down. Scout does die in the process. 1-to-1 KD. Remember, guys, that Capoch does not know about that tower. It's a really good addition. I think there's an overchop here, by the way. That will need to be rewalled. I was worried that Matador wouldn't be able to get his blacksmith up. He has it up. His micro's been really good, and he definitely has put Capoch under enough pressure to show there's some cracks in the armor here, right? Bit of idle TC time, which isn't something you want. Matador will have 9 scouts now getting the bloodlines upgrade. And he sees activity from Capoch on this side. So he knows the army is on the way. And he actually sniped the weak villager as well. That's a doink right there. Weak Vil from bringing in a boar in Dark Age. I love how active Matador is being. Like, he got destroyed in the first game, right? I mean, destroyed's maybe harsh. But he got outplayed. And so it could very easily get in your head. It could affect your confidence as a player, and he hasn't allowed that to be the case. Now, I'm concerned that there is a hole there. Now, it's unlikely Capoch will dive, but if there was any moment, this would be it. Yeah, he chooses not to go through there. I swear there's a hole right there. I guess neither player realized. I think Matador could kill this army. If he had armor, he could kill this army. The scouts have left for Capoch. Capoch leaves his units just on their own here. The scout meat shield would have been really helpful, but so would armor. I think Bloodlines is enough where he could maybe get a clear here, but that extra armor would have made it an easy clear here for Matador. Yeah, that needed to be better for Matador. Overall, it's still okay. 13 to 5 KD. Look at the farms here for Capoch. And Capoch actually towering the gold. Oh, wow. That's not something Matador expected, right? That's the only gold that he could get here. He chose to build his tower on his wood, which makes sense. Trying to kill these archers. Really just needs that armor. And he's taking less damage from the archers. Yeah, I assume he knows about this gold here, but he isn't interested in it right now. This game's going to get crazy, guys, if it hasn't been crazy already. Now, Capoch has to continually rewall this, and if he does that, we are going to see the problem that Full Scouts presents here. Also, did Capoch steal that farm? I'm pretty sure that was not Capoch's farm. I think he walked forward, clicked the farm, and stole it, or you might need to delete that there, actually. The villagers might actually go there. Okay, Capoch, maybe he doesn't know, but the villagers will automatically move to farms if they don't have another farm to work with. That is so funny. Anyways, 8 scouts out and about for Matador. He's soon going to click up to Castle Age. Capoch is going to go full feudal, making scouts and making archers. So the army will be stronger for Capoch from here on out. This combination is really strong, especially with some of the upgrades. But once knights come out, if knights can even be afforded, because Matador still isn't on gold heavily, then that's going to change the game. Okay, there's 2 stolen farms, but like, I have to assume, I think it... Did the villagers automatically steal the farms? The fact that Capoch doesn't seem to know that's happened is weird to me. I've never had vills automatically take someone else's farms. You always have to manually click them. But maybe he thinks it's his, and he's clicked them over there. I don't know. We're going to have another tower here from Matador. He is. And now adding more scouts would make a lot of sense. Adding another stable would make a lot of sense as well. This can get very dangerous for him. Basically, Capoch has to use his timing. If Capoch can't find a lot of damage, he's going to be up against upgraded scouts and knights in the next stage. How many knights is still to be seen? Matador basically has, like, his scouts are as strong as Capoch's scouts, plus Capoch has the archers. But man, oh man, was that tower a good idea. And another villager taking the farm! I mean, finally, freaking thieves are getting punished, you know? But that's like, what, 3 vills dead because of these freaking farms? I swear to God, they're doing it again! The vills don't have other farms to go to, and he's sending new vills to farms, and then... This is killing me, man. How does Capoch not just realize and delete those farms? I normally don't say... I'm normally not that critical of players like that. Like, I try and find a reason why they would realize it, but he clearly knows. That's so funny, man. Matador needs to get more vills on gold for consistent knight production. I mean, the scouts alone are going to get the extra attack, and then he can get the light cav upgrade. And the farming eco is really the area he's going to want to focus on. Having said that, there's a lot of vills. Ooh, Capoch ran out of that gold, so now these vills will need to be walled in. That's not going to be easy. El Matador with the lead. I would love to see a town center in this back area, protecting the stone and gold. He's going to go there? Wow, that's a surprise. I think that makes life very difficult for you, because you then have to focus on a completely different area of the map. But you could argue it also controls a really important area of the map as well, long-term here. Stable stays up for Matador. And now Matador has to find kills, and there's farmers here! I just can't get over that. That is so funny. That is just so freaking funny. Here's another farmer. Boom, she's dead. That one makes sense. And scouts are gonna move over here. Don't tell me, like, that TC were to get denied, that would be unbelievable. 70%. I don't like the fact that Matador ran out here. I love the aggression elsewhere, though. He's all over Capoch. Yes, you can hop inside the houses with Khmer, but that still is work as a player, and then you have to send them back to work, and your vills are idle. Let's see if Matador can defend. Now, he's got 5 vills on stone. Could fit them all in the tower if he realizes. He's looking here. He does lose a few vills here. Nice job from Capoch to get some counter damage in. Remember, the big thing that I pointed out with Matador is he's still running around killing vills here. Because he didn't have a ton on golds. That should slowly change because he has that TC up. We don't have any spearmen right now for Capoch. But he has a lot more gold income, so he can make knights. I actually think the lack of knights right now for Matador could be a big issue. This could snowball on him. Knights are just so superior to Light Cav in their stats. 40 extra HP, 2 extra attack. Monks being out there, though, to convert any knights could be really nice. Capoch needs to swing some scouts over here to deal with that. Like, honestly, this TC bothers me so much. So, I'm Matador's teammate, right? I think if Matador simplifies his game and just has that TC here, I love his position right now. But I'm worried that he has so many different areas to worry about that there's going to be a moment where tons of multitasking is needed, and he's going to miss one of the areas. Now, that would be my issue. But, like, you see what I mean? He's got to have to react here, and that is so far away from everything else he has to worry about. Love the aggression from Matador, though. Love how he continually makes Capoch work for it. It's just moments like this you wonder. And maybe he was planning on a TC here, but... Oh, he notices? He notices? He's a god. The man is a god. Beautiful quick walls there. And does also lose some villagers here, but he's also underneath the TC here against Capoch. Told you guys this would be a pretty competitive series. Also told you guys that lack of knights is an issue. I think Capoch can win this game. Just, guys, don't go to these farms. Wait, now Matador has them? I think the villagers are just defaulting. Like, if they run out of a farm, they're defaulting to those farms regardless of who built them. I don't think the players manually click them. Yeah. 12 knights against 18 light cav and 2 knights. And Capoch, if he can continually produce knights here, he can make up that vill deficit pretty quick. He just needs to kill 10 vills. There's 10 vills around. He gets in on the gold. The fight's happening here. Matador is losing this game now. Crazy. And it's just crazy how much you have to do right? How consistent you have to be. But it really was just the lack of gold. Now he's going to catch up with the knights, though. He is on gold. Remember, he still has that extra attack. It bothers me so much. Like, this eco would be so protected if the TC would have been over here. Matador in this game has monks to protect his farming eco, which you love to see. Still has lots of idols over here, though. Capoch has kept this competitive. Look at resources collected for a minute. When's the last time we looked at Capoch's base and, you know, he had to really deal with anything? It's been a long time for him to chill. Plus, he's Khmer, so things are very efficient for him. And that eco KD... Oh, the farms were deleted. Nice. Wait, where's this vill going? This is a bug, maybe. That vill is going to these farms. I think this is a bug, guys. Watch him automatically steal the farm. That never happened before. That's a bug. That is 100% a bug. And it's screwed up. Oh, my God. I guess you only noticed it because of the map. But, like... The bug has hurt both players considerably here. It's a balanced bug, guys, because both players are affected by it. No! No! Oh, my God. This is brutal. This is so brutal. This is so important for both of these two. Crazy. So it's 10 knights for El Matador. It's 14 knights for Capoch. And Capoch actually ran out of this gold and can't TC this gold right now. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Matador able to use that speed to breathe now a little bit. Farmer's still farming, by the way. Capoch sees that. Capoch is like, that's my farm, you fool. Monk, hoping for a conversion. Will get it, I think. Yep, does get it, which is great for Capoch. And, you know, it's been a wild game. It's been a really wild game where I think you're having that Khmer bonuses in and out of houses, farming kind of anywhere in a messy game. I think it's going to be really nice from here. Because like, where I don't think that bonus shines as much is in a really clean game, right? Where everyone can kind of have the perfect eco. That's definitely not the case here. Matador is going to TC all the way over here. So man, oh man, is he going to be spread out. He's like completely abandoned this area. Capoch might never check down here though. So that could be a really safe area. But it is in some ways stabilized. If you really wanted to make a bad joke, you could say this game has been pretty stabilized since the start because they've both been making scouts and knights. But I'm not going to make that joke because I'm not that guy. All right? You guys can make that joke. Capoch seems to know that, like, Matador's got to be somewhere with those vills and is looking around. Would be incredible to find that. Just realized double bid axe just came in for Matador. So he didn't have that the whole time. But he does have the villager lead. He does have wheelbarrow. And he does lose 2 villagers there to some knights from his opponent. Capoch probably still like, where on earth are the vills here? It doesn't make any sense. And, oh, a big find for Matador on the berries. Beautiful stuff. And he added in some more light cap because he knew that monk was around last time. We'll see if he continues to commit here. Seemingly he's forgot about this. That will be nice defense from Capoch. Matador just wants to go kill the monk. But the units wouldn't let him path that way. And he's got to click away here. He's got to click away here. What a great game here. All right, guys. Who wins this game from this point? Who do you think? El Matador or Capoch? Interesting. A lot of people are saying Capoch. I like the Capoch guess because I think his eco is more compact. And I think he's going to be able to afford more knights. He also didn't die in a situation where a lot of players would have died. I like the Capoch guess. Matador's advantages have kind of slipped away somewhat. But it's a really close game. And Capoch built the house here so we could hop inside, but he's got too many vills around. This is what I like from Matador. Now he is poking and prodding. Man, he spread out his... Like, I would never spread my eco out like this. The answer on if this is good or not is it depends. But, like, you just really giving your opponent so many opportunities. Your army is going to be... Your armies can never be close enough to respond to every single raid because of spreading it out like this. Whereas Capoch, everything's close by. So if he sits his army around, he should be close by. He needs to have some activity here, though. Matador heard you guys vote for Capoch and said, no. I'm not going to allow that to happen. Of course, the +2 attack has been working for Matador. He's now getting +2 armor. Crazy quality from both these two. And we see TC number 4 as well. What a game. This is a banger. Hello, YouTube. Also, I actually love the fact that Matador is getting Bodkin Arrow solely for his TCs. Because he's had a real issue killing all the knights with the town centers. I actually think that's a good move. Usually players are just going to get fletching. I can't actually give the math to you to say like how much more helpful that's going to be. But he needs the TCs to do something. And man, the fact that he reacted there is insane. 20 knights versus 20 knights right now. 5 monks versus 5 monks. 80 vills versus 80 villagers. Ow. What a close game. Upgrade advantage for Matador. Monks are here ready for conversions. There's no light cav out in the field right now for Capoch. Oh, man. Oh, man. Big engagement. All right. How many knights can they click? You have to grab like 3 of your knights and go kill the monks here. That's what both players have to be doing. It's interesting because neither player's doing that. Those monks are healing. So, like, the fact that we're not seeing those knights get picked off is something else. Matador loses most of his monks. And Capoch able to save some of them. There is a knight here killing Vils. And then this villager here is going off somewhere. Maybe a TC gather point issue? I'm not sure. Capoch pretty heavy on stone somewhere. He might be thinking about a castle right here. I think there's no way Matador is going to overtake the army right here unless he makes Capoch work somewhere else, and he's done that. Look at the KD, guys. Look at that. Matador still trying to raid different areas. This is so good, man. That is so difficult to do. Look at all the areas he's in. We joke about his APM and how fast he is. This is crazy multitasking. But if he gets castle dropped here, look how many vills are exposed. Oh, man. It's going to be a rough time. Hey, you can tell Capoch is waiting for that moment. Healing up, preparing himself. And can El Matador get more knights? These knights here are weak. I think, again, those messy games, just not having to drop off your food eco at your TCs or your mills is really nice. Matador finds some villager picks. Also finding a villager there. Also, Garrison's here. His multitasking has been unbelievable. I do wonder if he's made a little too much work for himself, though, splitting up his eco like this. Like, is he giving his opponent opportunities? Or is he protecting crucial areas of the map? Castle's about to go down. There's going to be that castle. This is an area where Matador is already losing the fight. I think you just have to abandon this area. You can't be too committed to it. And if Capoch knows you've abandoned it, he will dive. Capoch needs gold right now. Pretty badly, actually. No, he has this gold. Sorry. I guess he was Garrison, and he has that gold. So, yeah, he's got access to gold. Now, there's going to be someone, most likely named Tim, who's going to say, why not Pikeman T90? And my answer to all the Tims out there, oh my god, gate, house, gate. Sorry, Tim, I'll be with you in a second. TC, Bodcanero, boom. Nice protection there from Matador. My answer is Pikemen lack mobility. And if you're going to be making pikes, you can no longer afford knights with all these TCs producing bills. So it is actually just more effective to just continually go knights because you can use your speed as a player. And oh, that's big for Matador. I've been waiting for this. Waiting for him to pick off those pesky monks. And he gets all of them. So I'm not hating on the pike idea. I think pikes can actually be really good. But only when you get a healthy knight number and you can justify switching into something slow. Which might be soon for Capoch, because Capoch's food eco is wild. Matador's food eco is struggling in comparison. He did lose some of his food eco here. Timberfluff says, my name is Tim, how dare you? Or were you thinking about pikemen? Was I right? Sorry to all the Tims out there. I'm not making fun. I'm saying Tim brings up valid points. It's not an insult to the Tims of the world. We respect the Tims here. Matador 0 on gold. Because this TC hasn't been on Garrison. Yeah, I just like the TC positions. I'm telling you, man. Like, if Matador were to ask me, like, what's the situation? Like, why did I lose? You made life too difficult for yourself. You spread out in too many different areas. And it's just, the game is twice as hard now. And that's GG. That's GG. Capoch just killed 30 vills over the last few minutes. Over the last minute. And he's got the Kimura economy, which is really smooth. And El Matador is scrambling to stabilize like an elderly man on ice. On his driveway. I don't know. Who's also named Tim. And unfortunately for Matador, the ice, which is Capoch, is going to be far too punishing, man. Capoch is so good. Like, you give him the opportunity to pick different spots, and he's going to do it. And this game, like, might be emotionally breaking for Matador because he had a nice position to take advantage of, and he was so close to beating him. But now, man, Capoch is in his element. This is life on easy mode for Capoch. He's not going to lose from this position. He's got more knights than his opponent. He's got 140 villagers. He's on his way to the Imperial Age. And you can just kind of continue to do more of the same. This would be that position where you could justify dropping a bunch of barracks and maybe going for pikes. But do you really need to go for pikes if you have the knight advantage? You could argue that you don't really need to. So, felt like the perfect time for the imp upgrade as well, right? But guys, am I crazy? Or do you feel my theory of simplifying the game and keeping your TCs in somewhat similar locations is smart? Honestly, I should clarify that I think it's a preference thing. I am not as quick as Matador. But, like, Capoch isn't as quick as Matador. And everywhere, like, he would sit his knights and monks here, and then the TCs were really close. I think having everything relatively close really helps you in these scenarios. I think that combined with not having villagers on gold at a certain period of time, and Capoch being a maniac, kind of all played their roles. Capoch finding kills back here. Again, to my point, because eco is so spread out, it is really hard to keep track of that. Matador is probably looking at this. He's probably also controlling this. And he just does not see this. And Capoch continues to take advantage of it. And now this is even worse. This is what we call emotional damage. Because Matador will send his vills out of his TC and will realize, oh, shoot, I've lost like 10 farmers. You can kind of see the bodies there, too. And Castle goes up for Matador. But Imp is going to be in for Capoch. And in a very fun game where we found a bug, by the way. That bug is going to need to be something I report. Capoch wins. That's what Alpine can bring for you. I will say, it is extremely rare that games make it to Imp on this map because it is so aggressive and there's so much that can happen. So my hat that I'm not wearing goes off to both players, and my salutes go out to them because they both played really good games. Capoch, the favorite in this series. If you're seeing this game on YouTube, you want to see the full series, it's going to be on the Extras channel, which we'll have in the description. But yeah, I felt a lovely game there. And how many vills died because of the farm book? That's kind of interesting. Look, it happened again. So to clarify on how it usually works, usually if you have a vill that runs out of a farm, they won't reseed that farm if there's another farm of yours around. So they will move somewhere else first. But it seems like in the most recent patch or something, there's a bug now where they'll go to any farm and just farm away. So it auto steals farms. Man, back in my day, you used to have to manually steal farms. Man, they added auto farm steal as well? What are we doing, devs? Anyways, there's the KD. It was a fun game. I'll report that. 10,000 more resources collected there for Capoch. Just crazy. And apparently Matador was faster, but a lot of that speed might have been dealing with raids in different areas. Capoch is certainly fast himself and just all about the proper timings and decision making. I don't know how a player like Capoch can stay alive against what came his way in early Castle Age. It was so impressive. He was like 15 vills behind, 2 minutes later to Castle, and he still won that game. Just so crazy. He has such a big fighting spirit, and there's a reason this guy is, you know, like late 30s now and still able to compete heavily at a high level here in Age 2. All right, so we've got Capoch in the blue. We are no mouse casting right now. All right. I still could point at things. I could be like, do you see that llama? Look at that llama move. Oh, there's multiple llamas. Capoch is playing as the Burgundians. I think Burgundians are actually like 3%. Actually, no, we're going to go with like, I think they're 10% better in Dark Age with a 9 villager start because it's so much easier to squeeze in your eco upgrades because you have extra eco to work with. And then over here, here we have Matador. Matador is playing as the Turks. And Turks can be a really good Civ on Arena. They cannot compete with the economy. So I think this should be aggression from Matador. And if you want to be aggressive with a castle drop, you want players to be close. And as you can see, they're very close. I actually think this is a good opportunity for Matador to win. Especially, like, if he finds that his opponent's walls are there before he drops his castle, I wouldn't actually hate the idea of sending Vills forward and castle dropping the walls. You're down 2 games. The guy who's casting you isn't even using a mouse. Things aren't looking that good. That would be a really good opportunity to make life awkward for Capoch. So, we'll see. Horny Rooster, thank you very much for the 7 months. Welcome back with the sub. Let me just drink my water real quick. Okay. We need a GoFundMe to buy T90 a longer cable. The GoFundMe is called Subscribe with Twitch Prime. And then I'll probably still take 3 months to buy another cable because I'll forget about it. It's not something I think about when I'm, like, when I stop casting. So. But the problem is I get the notification the mouse is low, and then I'm in the middle of stuff, so I don't want to charge it, and then I leave my PC and I don't charge it. So maybe I'll learn, you know? One of these days. Is Matador better in closed maps? I'd say they're both probably even. I wouldn't say either player is really associated with being good on closed maps. But I think it is a good decision to play a map like this against Capoch if you're Matador, because Capoch really likes aggressive land maps and maps that incorporate water. So, do you have a laptop to drag over and plug it into instead? I mean, I guess I could, but I also, like, is this really damaging the arena experience for you guys? Like, is this, like, a real deal breaker for Dark Age and Feudal Age? Because if it is, you guys have much higher standards than I was expecting you to have. Basically, right now, we wait and see if El Matador is going to go to Stone. So, really big arena standards from chat today. Got it. Thank you, Batoja, for the 6 months. I like my mouse. The mouse is good. It's just the charging thing is just total first world problem because I forget to charge it. So I'd prefer that in moments like this, I charge it instead of an important moment later on where doing this would be annoying. All right, so no barracks here for Capoch. So he's not going to contest the middle with scouts unless maybe he'll add the barracks here in a moment. And I'm not seeing stone being mined by Matador. So he's not dropping the castle. Now, he doesn't know where Capoch is. So, you know, he maybe is making this decision based on maybe the Turk late game or something. But we'll see. Wireless mouse. A bunch of people told me to switch to wireless mouse. And because I was having wrist issues. Basically, both my wrists feel like I'm 65. And they hurt. And so the idea was to get a lighter mouse. And I don't know. I also started to do like a lot more like exercises. And like some therapy to try and make things better. And I play the game a lot less now, like over the last couple months anyways. So that has made things feel better. I also switched to a wireless mouse. So, because I had a wired one before, it was just much heavier. So there's the stable then for Matador. I think Capoch is expecting a castle drop. And he'll find out that Matador is adding scouts here in a moment. Have you tried a vertical mouse? I thought about using one for, like, work stuff. For, like, casting, I guess. Maybe that'd be fine. Or, you know, for things that aren't gameplay. But I never tried it. I feel like it would be very jarring for me to switch up the type of mouse. And it would make, you know, using a normal mouse more difficult for me. So I think it would probably be good if I was just like a desk guy who didn't game, but I think switching back and forth would be bad. Okay, guys, fair warning. The noise you're about to hear is not your computer. I know the notification will bother you anyways. This is my computer, okay? So don't freak out. 1 second. There we go. All right, now we're moving. We're moving and we're grooving here. And Capoch is like, where is that castle gonna go? Where is that castle gonna go? And then he's gonna see this. And now it doesn't tell. Well, no, he saw the barracks actually, so he should know. That could be one of two things. That could be spearmen from Matador, but more than likely it's gonna be a barracks before he ends up adding. Oh, don't let the scout into your base, Capoch. Don't let it happen. Oh no! No! Disaster for Matador. That could have been insane. Oh, his high APM, his want and his need to click all the time screwed him up. He had it. Oh, the light cap could be in. He could have been killing Vills. Oh, man. I mean, it's not like bad per se. He could still do everything else he wanted to do there, but what an opportunity. Capoch did get loom, and he did prep houses and everything. Like, he was really freaking out about that. Can you imagine how awkward Capoch's life would be with continuous light cap coming into his base? Like, basically, there should have been nothing Capoch could do to stop light cap coming in all the time. He has no way to even kill the light cap underneath the gate. Dang. Well, Capoch full boom mode, and Matador going to move out and get those relics. It should be pretty free and easy for Matador to get the relics now. And it's important he does, because the Burgundian eco should be flying here. Cheaper eco upgrades and an age ahead. Or at least they came in an age earlier. And 3 town centers, so res collected will be really good for Capoch. Now, I like how Capoch has kept his scout alive. So he could still, in theory, use that at some point to go out and kill monks. But I love how Matador is just basically protecting the gates. So there's no way that Capoch could leave unless he deletes a hole in his wall, which would actually be pretty epic. So why does Matador not have a castle yet? Because he's going for the economic approach. Dropping a castle here would be a completely different strategy. And arguably a poor strategy, because to go light cav and get the castle drop, your economy would be so much worse than he is right now. So I think what Matador has done here is really solid. It's hard to compete with the Burgundian eco, but if you hold map control and then you go for the monks and get all 5 relics, Turks have I think a better late game than the Burgundians. Or at least a comparable late game. But obviously, you got to prepare yourself for what's coming here, so. Elliot, thank you very much for the 44 months. It says, hold the Matador! I love that. I'm disappointed I didn't get that joke. I get jealous of people in chat if they get better jokes than me sometimes. First time on the stream, I was enjoying the trivial conversation and chilling, and then you screamed, oh no. Well, there's going to be a whole lot more of that, and I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, so Capoch is going to drop a castle, right? Which Matador should know. He can place it outside of his base. But he doesn't need to be scared of a 19 HP light cap. So, he could drop it like here. What might be the play is you drop the castle, you make a couple of your unique units to kill the light cap, and then you can push forward across the map. But Matador is going to have all 5 relics as long as he keeps moving here. If I had $1 for every time T90 has gotten excited and woken me up, KEKW, just don't. I'm an entertaining content creator who no one falls asleep to, and I will refuse to be proven otherwise. Hailstorm, thank you for the $5 dono. Says, we don't need a mouse. You do you. Thanks for the stream. Oh, good. Because I'm going to have to charge my mouse again later. But thank you for the love, my friend. All right, so there goes the castle. And there go the relics. I think Capoch went full boom, by the way, expecting to be castle dropped. Or expecting Janissaries. I think that's one of the best things you can do against the castle drop. Man, Matador might already be thinking that he should have won game 2. And then not having all these Lycav in Capoch's base is just such a game changer. Losing this game would be so sad. But look at the Burgundian economy. Like, even squeezing in handcart here. So someone earlier said this is bad for Matador. But I don't know what angle they were approaching that with, right? It could have been like, I took it as, based on the wording, this is bad from Matador. Like, Matador is doing something wrong. I think Matador has done, apart from the Lycav not getting in, everything perfect here. Maybe made a few extra Lycav, but that's not something to freak out about. I think he's played this really well. But still, Burgundians, they're going to be Burgundian. And they, their eco's just flying. So, all 5 relics is a really big deal. El Matador soon going to click up to Imp, and it might even be faster than Capoch. Is this about to be castle number 2 for Capoch? Oh, TC. Interesting. Well, Lycav probably going to die in here. Matador refuses to quit. And he refuses to stop micring, and there we go. So, Imp will be in for Matador here in just a moment. And he gets chemistry immediately. But now he has to try and think about what is his opponent going to do. And he doesn't have the Lycav for vision on that anymore. You know, I really think Gunpowder's kind of out of the question for Burgundians. Like, it's not something you're going to think about. Cav would actually maybe make the most sense. Like, Coustelier are really strong. You have a castle. He's building castle number 2. Yeah, so Matador doesn't know this. But I think it's actually going to be full Coustelier. And based on what he's seen, he could probably have pretty good guesses there. But usually you're not seeing someone go for Camel as Turks. Normally it's their Gunpowder or their Cav Archers or their Hussars. And he's going to prep ranges, I'm guessing, for Cav Archers. I mean, Hussar Cav Archer is just such a good cost-effective long-term army comp. I don't think Matador needs to move the relics further back. If you lose these relics, you've lost the game. There's just so much that's exposed, but that's a good idea in some cases. I agree with what people said there. Capoch is on a timer. He needs to win this game fast. He's got a really strong unit out there. 8+21 attack with the first attack. Because it's the charge, right? Isn't taking any stone now. So he will be... he won't have the third castle unless he buys a lot of stone. TC outside the walls here from Matador to protect more stone. Interesting. And outposts here for vision, which I think is really nice. Matador now also knows his opponent's going for the Coustelier. And Capoch, I think, saw that TC going up. So just like in the previous game, he's going to move out to try and kill exposed eco. And Matador dropping some gates. Bringing in some monks. TC will complete. Really likes making his life difficult by exposing vills, though. It just bothers me. Also, late to some upgrades. Bodcanero could have been in already, if you think about it. And then he could be clicking Bracer now. Capoch is going to go for a really strong push. He's going for Trebs immediately. He's got a lot of army that can't be dealt with right now. He knows in time the Turks will be stronger than him. And with time, with over 1,000 gold brought in from relics already, that El Matador will have the best long-term position. Any bit of idle time on the production here is a problem. I'm seeing a lot on stone for Matador. Very little on wood and gold, which is what he needs. That will slowly change, I'm sure. But those are the things you have to look to and talk about. T90 named 3 units that have 8 base attack in their base form and 11 base attack in their elite. Well, Coustelier is 1. It used to be Woad Raider, but I think their base attack now... Well, no, their elite up was always 13. Never mind, I'm wrong. Ooh, this is a fun question. Samurai? I think Samurai is 1. By the way, very good for Matador that Capoch has not felt comfortable enough to push forward with Trebs yet. It's very good for him. This gives him time. What are we thinking here? Sergeant? I don't know about a Sergeant. It's definitely not Shotel. Shotels have a lot more attack. Maybe it is. I don't know. I can't think of the other one right now. I don't think it's an old book. It has to be an infantry unit, obviously. It wouldn't make sense for it to be Cav. Kondo's 10 base attack, I'm pretty sure. So it's not a Kondo. Oh, wait. Arambai might actually be it. It could be a ranged unit. It could be Arambai. Huskarl? No, Huskarl's 10 base attack. All right, can we have the answer, Doc Maggie? That was actually a really good trivia question. Need heavy Cav Archer. Heavy Cav Archer is going to be in. Also, Sipahi would give 100 HP to the CA. This is where Capoch goes for the kill. No Bombard Cannons yet for Matador. But he wouldn't be able to move forward with his Bomber Cannons anyways. Because these elite Coustelier are getting in so close. He's got Castle Fire to work with. He's got Cav Archers. The Matador, he needs to hold here. And he's going to lose his castle right away. Capoch, he says, I agree, T90. And I refuse to trickle trap. Love that. It's like, bam! Your opponent doesn't have time to react. Castle's down. That is textbook right there, people. Like, the army potential could be there for Matador, but it takes a lot of upgrades for these Cav Archers. Still no unique tech, so still working with just 80 HP, but that attack is still so good. Wouldn't mind to see more Hussars active on the field. I love how Capoch is happy to toss away army. He's tossing away army just so he can take down these castles. It's just the timing on the attack is so crazy. This is why I wonder if camels would have been a good play for Matador here. Matador is completely panicking. And I think the bigger key is he's got like 30 vills outside of his base right now that are all going to get slaughtered. Cav Archers are wedged into a nice position, but if the Bombard Cannon hits those CA, this is... Oh, no! Yikes! Oh, it's the perfect situation for the cannons. Just simply has not been Matador's day. The elite Coustelier are so strong. And Capoch says, who needs relics, man? Who needs relics? I just go full unique unit all the time. Take all the extra stones and golds. There's still more production for Matador, but yeah, it just doesn't have it now. And it's all like falling apart for him. And like we saw before, it falls apart once against a player like Capoch, and he's going to make you pay. Just so many things. Like, guys, 3-0s can be so deceiving sometimes. Game number 2 was incredibly close. And if Matador doesn't misclick with his light cav, maybe Capoch never has as good a boom because of light cav in his eco. And then, with a couple key moments here or there, Matador could be up 2-1. But instead... Capoch probably going to get the 3-0 here. Okay. What did Doc say? Doc, what's the answer to the third one? Travamsha, Sergeant, Coustelier, and Tarkin. Tarkin is 8 base attack? Really? That's crazy. It's crazy that a melee unit would have 8 base attack. I almost don't believe that. But then again, Tarkins have never really gotten a lot of love from the devs, so... I still don't even have a freaking sound. How are they supposed to have attack over 8? So... Skirm's obviously a good addition for the Cav Archers, which again, still don't have Sipahi. But I don't think Sapahi makes a difference here. Sure, having the extra HP is nice, but you still are up against a counter unit. Same with the TC spot last game. Funny how 1 second decision decides a 40-minute game. Yep. I agree with you. There was... You know... I think Matador, decision-wise here... I think... Cav Archers is good. I wonder if it's possible to go heavy camo with Cav Archers. Maybe it's too gold costly, but... he really likes to leave his base with a lot of eco before that area is protected. He had like 30 vills out there, and I'm not the biggest fan of that, but I guess in his logic, he's thinking if I lose ground here, I probably just haven't... You know, he's expecting to win the fights, right? So... Yeah, like, in that situation with the gate, I almost don't know what happened because, well, clearly he misclicked. But it is really, really hard to say because in my case, I just click the unit there and never grab it. I think maybe he didn't remove it from a control group or something. Now that he's got the Cav Archers, they've actually done quite well. But he does need to grab these relics and move them back. He did move one back. He's grabbing the others right now. Capoch still being patient with his 5 trebs. Capoch has full map control with stones and golds. So he won't run out of gold anytime soon, but he does need to break Matador. And Matador could make bomber cannons to push all this back, in theory. He doesn't really have the food economy for good Hussar production, but having Hussars in the mix is what he wants because of the presence of the skirms. Yeah, I think Capoch is going to use the same logic he used before. He says, fine, kill my units. I'll just take your buildings down. That's what he's going to try right now. So the CA are going to get their kills, but the Cav Archers have to hit and run, and they're running backwards. Will be a Bombard Cannon from Matador, which will try and take the Trebs, but I don't think it's enough time to take out... I don't think it's enough time to save the castle. And Bombard Cannon actually gets spotted. Bombard Cannon gets sniped. God, Capoch is playing so good. And Matador is not going to be making it to the Warlords main event. Always going to be really tough for him to do so because the qualifiers are so stacked. There's only 16 players in the main event. But I think he will be disappointed. I think he will feel like he could have had a few more wins here. He lost 3-2 to Margugu in the first qualifier, who's... Margugu was the favorite there. And, you know, he did seem pretty happy he was able to take Margugu to a 5th game. Could have won that series, to be honest. Capoch, I think, is still a tier up from a player like Margugu. And yeah, at this point, it's a Cav Archer micro situation. It's not even like a... The eco doesn't matter anymore. Matador just says, I'm going to get value from these Cav Archers, and then I'm going to resign. And the GG's called. So, yeah, it was just the moment of the game for me that I think changes this whole situation is this moment with the light cap. It's just such a wild scenario. He's got to be kicking himself for because he did everything he needed, right? Capoch should have never run in there in the first place. Like, that was such a big no-no from him because players should know to do this. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what you do here, okay? You click the gate. You click the gate. You don't want your unit to just be standing because there's a chance you have it on attack stance or something and it'll chase something else. You just click the gate, so they'll be holding the gate open, but they'll be walloping the gate with their sword. I want to see, did Capoch's scout bait him back? Yeah. I think that's what happened. I think he had it on attack stance. So he gives the scout a command, right? Watch this. So he gives the scout a command. He says, no, you stay here. But because it was on attack stance, it saw Capoch's scout, and it automatically followed, I assume. Or he misclicked it, I don't know. But God, that would have been like 5 light cav running around Capoch's base. That would have been brutal for him. And anyways, that's just something that'll keep Matador up tonight. And... hopefully he can get over. But 3-0 for Capoch. I don't know if that was the biggest surprise, Capoch winning the series. I do feel like that 3-0 scoreline doesn't fully represent the series. I think it could have gone to 4 or 5 games with a few tweaks here or there. But that's what it comes down to at this level is slight tweaks in a player's approach.